There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah,
Good morning and welcome everyone to Center for Spiritual Living Ocala. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? Yes, yes, yes. What a gorgeous day. How many of you are here for the first time today? Well, how about for the first time ever? Oh, welcome to everyone, and thank you for being here. I am Reverend Cindy Grimes, our resident inspirator and the spiritual director of our center, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are before I bring on our guest. And so we will start with our mission. What is it that we're about? Why do we exist? Why do we come here? And we are a part of a larger movement called Centers for Spiritual Living. And what we are here to do is to embody and share truth principles and spiritual practices that empower us to awaken to the power and presence that lies within and all around us, so that we may facilitate spiritual healing and the elevation of our individual and collective consciousness, right? How many of you are up for that? That's a whole lot of words, right? But we can look at our elevation, right? That is something I think if we want to cut it down, that we're here for our individual and collective elevation, right? All right, well, I'm glad then. If you're up for that, you're in the right place. And our vision is that we are a thriving new thought community dedicated to spiritual growth and practice, sacred activism, and the transformative love that reveals our interconnectedness and our oneness. And what we mean by that word sacred or spiritual activism is that it is the intersection of consciousness and action. It is the place where prayer and service activate love and spiritual principle becomes lived practice. Sacred activism is how we show up as a beneficial presence in the world. Now, how many of you are committed to being a beneficial presence in this world? Right. I know I am. I know I am, right? That's why we exist. Yes, yes. So that is our vision. And these are our values. These are the things that are important to us. The wholeness of spirit. We value spiritual and personal growth. We value collaborative, synergistic community. I always say a little bit more about that one too, because there's a lot of words there. Collaborative, meaning we work together. We're not a competitive community. And synergy means that when we come together, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So 2 + 2 isn't just 4, it's maybe 4,000, right? As our energies synergize. We value abundance and prosperity. We value love and compassion. And I'm so excited for our speaker today because he's going to expand on that, I know. We value appreciation and gratitude, as well as peace and balance, the power of freedom, diversity and inclusion. Those are words we say openly and freely and happily and excitedly here because we believe that our diversity is our strength. And we are all part of this thing that, if you want to call it God, spirit, whatever it is, we are all part of that, whether we believe it or not. Right? We are all part of this thing that is bigger than each and every one of us. And we value generosity. And so today, I am so excited. We've been waiting for a little bit. You know, we had a glitch last time he was going to come. And so today, we welcome Lama Losang, who comes to us from, I have to read it to say it right. He is the resident Lama for the Gainesville Karma Thegsum Choling Meditation Center, and he is the spiritual director of the Jacksonville KTC and the Amelia Island KKSG. I'm sure he will tell you what all of that means. And he is the author of a book. I think it's the one that's over there on that table. Yes, that is called Wisdom, Compassion, and Awakening from Balboa Press. And he is also has a PhD in psychology. He's a psychologist from University of Florida. He is an acupuncturist. He's a tennis player. He is a Qigong teacher and Tai Chi. I mean, this man does so many things. And we're just very, very excited to have him here today. I know that I need this message today about how to cultivate peace of mind in difficult times. So with nothing else to say. Come on down, Lama Losang. Thank you for being with us.
Good. Yes, I think. Good. Can you hear all right? Yeah, good. Excellent. Thank you. Good morning. I can see I'm in the right place. There's a lot of joy here and a lot of good energy. Reverend Cindy has certainly provided a very nice space for this to occur. And it is my pleasure to be part of that today. So this idea of how to cultivate peace of mind in difficult times. It's always difficult times. There's never been a time that is not difficult. And cultivating peace of mind, I think if we think what is the most important thing we can do, what is going to give us the most happiness, it's peace of mind. Don't you think? Yeah, I think so too. So how do we do that? The Buddha was really very clear in how we can do that. So my perspective as a fully ordained Buddhist monk is to follow his prescription. And he is often called, a physician. And so when we go to see a doctor, for example, we go because we have some kind of suffering, some kind of symptom. And we go, and the doctor does his interview. It gives us the diagnosis, prescribes a treatment, but it's not enough to get the diagnosis and the medicine, for that matter. We have to take the medicine to get the desired result. So the Buddha, as a physician, has diagnosed our situation that has created this mind that is really confused, that seeks things outside. It's constantly looking outside for fulfillment. That never works. As you may have found out, we think we're going to be happy when I have that job, when I have that relationship, when I have the house, fill in the blank. But does that work? You lose the job, the house, you have, fix it. Yeah, there's always things going on. There's mortgages. There's things that happen. You get the car and then you ding it or you crash it or, there's always something. That's called samsara. Have you heard that term before? Yeah. Samsara comes with birth. And immediately we have aging, we have sickness, and ultimately we have death. No one gets away free of any of those things. So that is samsara. There are 4 noble truths that we should probably say that kind of sets the design for this situation that we find ourselves in. The Buddha said there is suffering. Do you think so? Is there suffering? Yeah. But he also said there's a cause for that suffering. There is a way out of that suffering, and his way out of that suffering was the Noble Eightfold Path. So we'll talk a little bit about that too, what that means. So anyway, I thank you for that introduction. We're just down the road in Gainesville. I've been involved in Buddhism for 40 years. I've been a monk for 20. And have had the good fortune of being with a lot of wonderful teachers. I did a 3-year retreat. That is the classic study for monks. And that was an intensive closed retreat. No one came in, no one went out. People said that sounds like a lot like prison, but we're in prison right now. It is our mind that keeps us there. We are so confined by our perceptions, confined by our attachments, our aversions. Those are the things that push and pull us. So what we want is freedom. And when the Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree 2,600 years ago, he said, I am awake. And that's basically what Buddha means, to be awake. So that means if you're awake, that must mean that you were asleep prior, not knowing the truth of our existence. So the Buddha's teaching is about waking us up to the truth of who we are. These physical forms are not who you are. They're going to come and go. Reincarnation is an important part of the Buddhist path, as it is in many religions. So we have been here since beginningless time. There's no beginning, there's no end. But there can be an end to our suffering, and just like last night's dream, it seems very real. And you may have all kinds of emotions, you may have gone through all kinds of experiences in that dream, some good, some not so good. And then we wake up and say, oh, that was a wonderful dream, or that was terrible, that was a nightmare. And we have that same experience in the waking, so-called waking state that we're in right now. But we have to see it like a dream. And it is our perception that makes it so. How are we doing so far? Are you okay? Thank you. So I want to have this interactive, I would like for us, because there are many of you who have experience in Buddhism, who have no experience in Buddhism, who have your practices or don't have a practice of meditation. So we will definitely discuss meditation and what that means. There's a lot of misunderstanding and confusion about what meditation is. Some people think it's not having any thoughts. And so they tell me, I can't do meditation. My mind is always running. Yes, that's what it does. Compares, contrasts, analyzes. So when you sit, what happens? The mind is just flooded with all kinds of thoughts, feelings, emotions. The thing is, we're not going to follow those thoughts in meditation. We recognize we have a focus for a meditation. There's different kinds of meditation. What I'm going to talk about is called shamatha, or tranquility meditation. And that is to tame the mind. That monkey mind that's yada, 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 yada all the time. There's no escape. But we can get a little bit, slow that down. In fact, there's different stages of meditation. The first stage of meditation is like water over the waterfall. It's just a constant stream of water, unstoppable. The next stage is a river. It's still going at a good pace. Sometimes there's rapids and white water, but it's not the same as the waterfall. And the third is the mind being like a pool, a quiet. We can look at like the ocean. Sometimes it's passive. It's like glass. But sometimes the waves do come up and then back into the ocean again. So the idea with shamatha meditation, which we will do, is to begin to tame the mind, to quiet it down. And it's not unusual that when one starts, one really becomes aware of that mind going full steam. And one might think, I have more thoughts than ever. I can't do meditation. This is worse than it's ever been. But the mind is always doing that. We're just not aware of it. We don't look internally in that way. Our view is always external. And we think that something out there is going to bring us peace of mind. It does take practice. It does take some discipline. It does require persistence. Just like anything, when you go to school, and we're coming up through the classes, and when we begin, we don't know that much, And so we continue to have teachers who train us. And if you're going to be a physician, that doesn't happen overnight. To learn what you need to learn, to practice, to get supervision, that is required. Taming the mind is no different. We definitely need a teacher. Left to our own devices since beginningless time, up to this point, we haven't done so well. We have in a way, because it's considered to be born human is a very auspicious situation. We look at, in terms of Buddhism, there are 6 realms of existence, sentient beings. The sentient means having a mind, basically. So for us, we do have the capacity to tame our mind. We can ascend to a different level of realization. But without direction, without a teacher, or without guidance, we tend not to do that. We just go, our habitual patterns take over. So we really have to tame the mind. We have to have the correct instruction to do that, and we're all different. The Buddha taught 84,000 different ways to do that, based on all the different karmic causes and conditions that we could have. There's probably even more, but it doesn't mean that you have to know 84,000 different ways to do it. You just need one, the one that fits you best. And there are various methods, and the one that you're most attracted to is the best one for you. So that is my job, is to teach meditation and how to tame your mind. The Buddha, I talked to, I said he was he called himself a physician, but he's also a supreme psychologist. He knew, if you want to study psychology, study Buddhism. That is the way to understand the nature of the mind. It is so profound. So I do know something about psychology, having received a PhD in psychology, having taught psychology, being the dean of a college in psychology. But I will tell you, there is nothing more supreme than the Buddha's teaching on mind science, on taming the mind. Any question about anything so far? How are we doing?
The little one, very simple. Are the plants sentient beings too or not?
They're not considered sentient. They really can't meditate so well.
Yeah, because I thought that since they have feelings.
They do, but those are responses to something, so it's not like a conscious thing. I mean, they will respond to light, they'll respond to water, they'll respond to different things, and there's a whole network of, roots that they protect each other in a certain kind of way. And if you think they're sentient, fine, but there's no harm in that. Yeah. So the secret life of plants, you may be familiar with that. So some might consider that, but in classical Buddhist cosmology, they're not considered sentient in the way we're talking about the ability to attain Buddhahood. Yes?
If you're in a certain situation and you decide that meditation would help you, how do you know that you're not putting your mind away from what needs to be addressed?
Well, you have that. You can address it, but when you're meditating, you're taming the mind, you're stilling the mind, and your cogitation, your cognitive ability, capacity to make a decision skillfully will be improved. It doesn't mean that you go blank or that you're hallucinate or that it is a matter of being at ease, being present in this moment. And that is key, just being present to make that decision that you have to make, to do that cognitive thinking. We have minds. It doesn't mean that you're not going to think. You can take care of those things, but that doesn't, you're not going to be meditating 24/7 generally. So you do have that capacity to make those decisions, certainly. Yeah. Even better, without all of the external kind of noise and internal noise as far as that goes. When you're meditating, your focus is generally, will we use the breath? Because that is something you always have. So inhaling, you're aware of inhaling. Exhaling, you're aware of exhaling. And that is your anchor, the breath. So, and in the beginning, I generally advise, and we're gonna do this, just doing 21 breaths consciously, present. But you will, we talked about that waterfall. The thoughts are gonna come. You're gonna be aware of that thought, and you're gonna disengage from it and return back to the breath again. The thing is not to follow the thought, not to go down the rabbit hole of that thinking. And when we're engaged in difficult times, that consumes us generally. And we really can't see the forest for the trees sometimes, which is your Buddha nature. We forget it. You know, we get consumed by some external thought, feeling, or emotion. But that is external to us. It's not who we are, you know. You are a Buddha, according to the Buddha. You already have that, but it's obscured by our habitual patterns. You know, our attachments, our aversions, our clinging, our anger, our jealousies. But when we can just see that in a dreamlike way, because, you know, oh, how could someone say that about me? Don't they know who I am? You know, we get to see that you can free yourself from that negative clinging, that negative emotion that is exhausting. It's exhausting. Yes, sir.
For years, I've been able to contemplate on passages, texts. And in the recent year, I've tried to learn breathing. When I was doing contemplation on text, I would sometimes fall asleep and
Contemplation on,
text, some reading.
okay, yeah.
And what I found, which I thought was profound, and it may not be, is that I would stop breathing if I fell asleep and then wake up and start again. Now, I've also learned I have sleep apnea and literally stop breathing for physiological
I
reasons.
hope you're taking care of that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I decided to go ahead and do
Yes,
something
you
about it.
do want to decide to do that.
But the question I have, and thank you, the question I have really is that with the breath work, it's almost impossible. It's good for not going down the rabbit hole, but it's almost impossible for me to get beyond counting, because I'm following a particular pattern of inhale and exhale. I was wondering if you have a suggestion of either staying with that or trying to get beyond it.
First, we have to stay with it. First,
Okay.
we have to be able to do that before we can go beyond it. We have to tame the mind to be still. So continue to follow the breath. 21 breaths, then you can, but we drop the counting. You know, that is another cognitive thing. When you say you're meditating on a passage or on a text, that is cognitive. We're going beyond that limited focus. It is good to do that. It's called vipassana, actually. So we have shamatha, we have vipassana, where we get to the emptiness. And if you're doing it in a particular way, we say, you know, who am I? You know, or the emotion, you know, what color is it? What size is it? It's nothing, you know, it is absolutely nothing. But we are so involved in this thing, we reify it, we crystallize it, we make it something real. So we have to understand it is empty of any essential quality. It's empty. So anyway, to answer your question about that, continue. You haven't arrived at that place of stability. And it can be frustrating, but no expectation, no disappointment. You just breathe, relax, and be present. Being present in whatever it is you're feeling. We also make judgments about that. When you're doing this process, there's no judgment. Oh, I went off that, went down the rabbit hole. Fine. Back to center. Back to the anchor of the breath. So, and you'll do that repeatedly until there's a little more gaps and you find that peace, that internal stability, that calm place. That is always there, but we are practiced in, you know, we're going to school, you know, you have to learn this, you have to learn that, you have to know that fact, you got to take that test, you have to know this thing. But that is so really not who you are. And we've been trained in a particular kind of way through our education, through our parents, through our culture, to believe certain things. We take it for real, but it is something that actually we have to kind of onion peel layer by onion peel layer take off. It can be a very constricting kind of a situation. But, you know, I've gone through a lot of schooling, so I've had all of those things put on me, and there's a point where we just have to disengage from it. And renunciation at a certain level is kind of important. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
In light of your background in science as well as spirituality, I come from a behavioral health background myself, and in this my spiritual journey, I've thought about the state of altered state of consciousness that sometimes I've experienced in meditation, and in talking with other friends in our pursuit for this experience of oneness. The question comes up, but somebody said, it isn't really about pleasure. Meditation is not about pleasure. It's about connecting to one's true self, this knowing, and that filters out, those negative distractions. I guess they were distractions rather than something being bad. But I guess my question is more related to, I've engaged in, and this is the debate my friends and I have, because I've done a lot of contemplative prayer, using with words, focus on words, and they say, no, it's about no thingness in your mind, an energy connection, more metaphysical, this getting to know, who you are. And based on your own experience with words, and I'm sure you've entered that energetic oneness experience.
We all have.
Yeah. Is there validity in pursuing both in terms of this?
It's not this or that. It's this and that. Mantra recitation in the Buddhist tradition is also used as a skillful means to quiet the mind. So you have this focus. I said we're going to use the breath, but you can use mantra or sound as well. But then and that is the best time to meditate on emptiness, is after you've repeated this sound. Your body is engaged and in a place of harmony with that sound. And there are many different, you may have heard of the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. It's a common mantra of Chenrezig, the bodhisattva of loving kindness and compassion. And as you resonate with that, you become that, that everything is resonance, everything's vibration. So our vibration sometimes can be pretty incoherent. So this is, just like electricity or anything else, we want it coherent. And the vibration of these mantras bring coherence. I think we can say that. And it's a skillful means of practice, but it is just one method. It's not either you have to do this or do that. Different people are attracted to different things. We say body, speech, and mind. So when there are times when we'll do called the Yidam practice, or I've mentioned Chenrezig. So you imagine, you visualize Chenrezig in a particular form. As part of the practice, you enunciate the Om Mani Padme Hum. There with the body, there are mudras that one uses as well, so using the body in that kind of way. So we're engaging body, mind, and spirit very directly in a particular practice. But the idea is to rest in the natural state of calm and peace and understanding emptiness. That is wisdom. So we have the two wings of the bird that take us to the goal of awakening. That is compassion and loving kindness and wisdom. If you just have loving kindness and a wisdom, it is not based on or loving kindness and compassion. It's not based on wisdom. It's sometimes called idiot compassion. So you don't know how, you might give everything away and then have remorse about, oh, I did too much, I shouldn't have done that. That is not pure giving, and that is not the highest ideal. There is the paramitas, there are 6 paramitas. The first one is generosity, and we want to give, but we give, what we can in the way that we can, without remorse or saying, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I wonder what I'm going to get for that. It's a this for that kind of situation. That is an impure giving. But at any rate, where was I going with that, do you suppose? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that all thoughts are self-generated?
Yes, where else could they come from?
Well, we live in a multidimensional world.
But we're one person, and we've identified with a particular part of that multi-dimension, based on causes and conditions, based on our karma. It all comes from us. Our mind has got to be tamed. So it is all part, and it's all part of causes and conditions in your experience. Doesn't come anywhere else but your experience. So is there more to that question?
Yes, I practice mediumship,
Yes.
and I'm well aware that there are those who live on the spirit side of life who are able to communicate with us, and depending on our point of development of this gift that we all carry
Yes.
within us, we are not necessarily always the thinker.
No, if you're channeling, that is a different situation. You're becoming a medium, you're becoming a channel for another entity, another mind. So that is a little different. You're in an altered state at that point. That is not your mind any longer.
Only in the trance situation.
Yes, only in a trance situation.
Correct. So, because it's possible for us to step aside, if you will, and allow other individuals to use our instrument, our body,
Yes?
to communicate, then the question becomes, who then is the thinker? It's been proven over and over again that the individual who is entranced, if you will, to that degree that can bring through spirit entities, that the spirit entity and the individual whose instrument they're using may have two diametrically opposed ideas about a subject, if you will.
That can be.
So then, who then is the thinker?
It's the entity that's being channeled. That's the entity. I mean, there's lots of different channels as well. Some are more pure channels. Some have bleed in, their own consciousness as well. So ultimately, if you've stepped aside, as you say, and you're channeling this, and you're the voice of this entity, then it's the entity. And there's a point that it's no longer the entity, and then you can return to your consciousness as well. But the whole being of it is true that there are channels that can do that, and it is you can do that. But the purity of that is very individual. You have to get out of the way. So it just depends on your capacity to do that, and the strength of that connection with the person you're channeling. Does that answer your question? Where are we missing the point?
Well,
It sounds like it's an important question to you. If it's not,
I think it's an important question to
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
actually. We live in an energetic field. There are any number of millions and billions, countless numbers of thoughts being created. And aside from debating whether or not where that thought is being originated from, there are any number of thoughts that are being created at any point in time. And now I'm in a telepathic kind of a situation where, excuse me, one can telepathically, without their knowledge, be picking up on another individual's thought processes that don't necessarily belong to them. So again, I say the thought may not necessarily be self-generated. The opinion of the thought is, but the thought itself may be coming from an energetic transfer, if you will, of one another's thoughts.
or it can be a projection of your own mind.
That it could be as
That
well.
it could be. So That is a very tricky question to answer. You have to be a very clear channel, and you have to really be clean in terms of your own karma, or it's all going to, we have judgments about it, this is good, this is bad. So it's hard to say. Yes, there's a Buddha knows everything, but that is a pure channel. I mean, he's omniscient, omnipresent, still is. You know, this is the fourth Buddha of this precious eon. There'll be 1,002 Buddhas. He was the fourth. There'll be many more to come. But we are under the influence and teaching of Shakyamuni Buddha, who was the fourth of 1,002 Buddhas for this particular cosmos. And so we have to do our own work. You can never stop, or you're going to be influenced. There's going to be a bleed in of your own kind of worries, concerns, you know, and strivings. So it is important that you continue to do your meditation to be a clear channel as much as you can. And to a certain degree, you know, I wouldn't be too concerned. We have to do our own internal work when you're picking things up. If you're in the midst of doing that for a reason, but you need to protect yourself from too many of those external things. That can be a little bit hard for you as well. There's a lot of different energies, as you say, and you have to be really grounded in order to do that. At any rate, I hope that was helpful. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, but just 2 points if you would to expand on. One is the benefits of meditation, or the why of the meditation, and the second point is, for me, I do well in meditation, I think. I've been doing it 15 years.
Right.
My problem is taking it out into the world. I lose that mindfulness in the activities of the world. If you could give some tidbits on that, I'd appreciate it.
So how do you lose it? What does that mean?
Well, I lose the mindfulness throughout the day. Like the stories will come, and there's no mindfulness to be able to catch the story. And I'm 20 minutes into chasing the guy down the road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that requires practice. And to be present is really the nature of our mind, to be present. But we are so distracted, as you say, because of our attractions, our aversions, our kleshas, our habitual patterns, that it distorts our ability to be present in this moment. So we just need more practice. Yes, when you're there's a big difference between on the cushion and off the cushion. But we have to be able to take our on the cushion practice out into the world, to be present, and we get to see it. It's all practice. You know, it's no different off the cushion than it is on the cushion. You want to be aware of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions. If you're engaged with something and you feel the uprising of anger, and we know it immediately. Then you can internally ground and say, what was it about that triggered this response? And then we turn that. It's very important that we do this. That is an active meditation. So, okay, we turn that to compassion and loving kindness. Generally, that action of anger is just showing you the discomfort of that individual. You know, so it should naturally elicit compassion. You know they're suffering. You know that individual's suffering. Or they're angry about someone else getting the job that they thought they should get. That jealousy or that competitiveness or that striving. Everything serves to further. Everything is practice. Does that make sense? Everything is practice? Yeah. We can't get away from it. We take our mind everywhere. But we want to be aware of what's going on in that mind stream. You know, what is the emotion that's coming up? And we're all vulnerable in different ways. Some anger, some attachment, some jealousy, some, you know, whatever the thing is. So that's the one we work on. But this is great that you're aware of that. Evidently you know that, I've kind of lost it here. I'm distracted. So we want to keep that awareness, you know, chopping wood, carrying water.
So I have maybe just looking to get an affirmation. When I think of spiritual practice and meditation, is to come back to that place that is beyond the mind,
Correct.
right? That place of
Well, that is your mind. I mean,
source.
it depends on what you say mind is. It is your Buddha nature, which is omniscient. It is totally capable of, and there are certain cities that people have as they progress along the path in terms of their awareness, in terms of the things. But go ahead, please.
Sure, and that's helpful, right, to define the terms.
Yeah.
So maybe a better word is to go back to ultimate consciousness, you know,
Usually
to
it's
the
ego.
source.
Usually it's ego we're talking about, and our attractions and aversions and what we want and what we don't want. We make all kinds of assumptions about people, which we just make up, Has nothing to do with reality whatsoever.
And so meditation is so that we can let go of all of that.
Yes.
And we practice
And
over
be
and over and
okay
over
with
again.
whatever that is. That's fine. Let it be. But we judge it. We have to do something about it. That's not what I want, so we have to interfere with it in some way. Or that person's not behaving the way I want them to behave. They're bad. I don't like them.
And the more we practice...
That's a choice we make, and it's yeah.
I was going to say, the more we practice, the easier it is to get back to that,
Hopefully, yes.
right? To that centered state, to that harmony, so that when the person cuts you off or you don't get the job or whatever, you can come back to that center. It's like any other exercise that you do,
Exactly.
that it allows you to come back to that centered place and then then you use your cognition to say, okay, why did I get hooked?
Well, we don't even care about how we got. We just know we're hooked back to present. You can go on and we may not know the answer to why I got hooked. All the causes and conditions that came to that point is infinite, so we don't. Yes. But what also comes naturally is your peace and calm and peace of mind. Yes.
For example, if I am 100% concentrated, being mindfulness or doing something, can I call that a kind of meditation?
Definitely.
Because
That is meditation.
If I am gardening and the only thing is putting all my senses into the little petals, into the leaves, what I'm doing, that's a kind of meditation, right?
Yes. Can you see my hand? That's a meditation.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the senses. We have our eyes. We have our ears. We have our sense of smell. We have our sense of taste. Being present with those things. Undiluted. Just present. Without any, again, our labels, our attractions, our aversions. So being present is probably the most important thing. And when we get off track, when our minds wander away from the present, we bring it back. Here we are. Again and again and again. And particularly in the beginning. Our minds are very facile. We can think about anything, and we have this storehouse of feelings and emotions, and certain things will trigger it. These are habitual patterns that we have. And we have been doing this since the beginning. Yeah. Well, we have someone with the mic in the back there, and you'll be next. Yeah, please.
What I found useful when I was trying to remain mindful throughout the day was the second arrow idea. Like when things, you're making judgments or things don't go the way you think they're going to go.
Rarely do they go the way we want them to.
And it's the thought and the dwelling on it and the wishing it was some other way
Yes.
that creates the suffering. Could you talk more about the second arrow?
Well, you pretty much said it. That's how it works. That we have an idea about the way things should be. It's not that way, and we make a judgment about it, and we get upset about it, and we have restless nights, and it's just ongoing, and it's exhausting again. So it is. The cause is our attachment.
Attachment, that's a wonderful word.
Yeah.
I found at this stage in my life this recurrent mantra, and you opened up with it, in some sense, that the great I am and I am are one. It seems to have pierced this trance of unworthiness that the Buddhists talk about, because I don't judge myself the way I used to before, when I think that I could never say to the God of my understanding the things I used to say to myself. It's this knowing who I am. And it has really helped me understand the concept of forgiveness, of letting go of clinging negativity and standing in that's the ultimate truth, isn't it?
Yeah, we
Knowing
don't know
I
who we
am.
are. And my book that I have there, Wisdom, Compassion, and Awakening, is I lead with a particular story about a reporter who was waiting in an airport, and he sees a monk, and he's going to interview him. And he asked the monk if he can interview him. He said yes, and he said, but first, let me ask you a question. And the monk says, who are you? And he says, well, I'm a writer. And he says, no, that's your profession. Who are you? And he gives his name, John Smith. He said, no, that's your name. I'm a human being. No, that's your, what we call human beings. It's whatever the biological term is for it, species, yeah. And this goes on for a while until the writer says, well, I don't know. And he says, that is the problem. That is the problem, that we have to deal with. We don't know who we are. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, please.
A couple of weeks ago, I decided to try doing something. There's a person I'm very fond of, who I'm often with, who is very good at triggering me, not because it's a goal, but
That's your greatest teacher.
yeah. And after a couple of years, I realized I've got to do something to disengage. And so a couple of weeks ago, I tried meditating when it was happening. And it's been very successful, except I worry that I may be insulting and offending and making it worse for the other person. And I've explained, and they've been tolerant of it. But I've also, at times, just excused myself, go to the bathroom, say I'm going to the bathroom, and then go there and meditate.
Sometimes you do have to just disengage from the whole process until you have the capacity to be there presently with, and if you're doing it correctly, you don't have to worry about, pissing them off. In fact, your relationship should improve because you're having true compassion. You're with them, present with them, without engaging in your own kind of karmic causes and conditions and habitual patterns. When we have these people, we usually react, oh no, this person's coming, I hate this. So we have to turn this around a little bit, and use this. I'm serious when I say it's your greatest teacher. So those people who offend us the most, great. There was a teacher who would always bring this guy, a irascible guy. Everyone hated him. He'd be like his attendant because it would push people's buttons, and he thought this was the greatest thing. Let's see just how patient you are, when this guy came in. So patience is a virtue. It's true, and being patient is really something to practice. Yes, please.
So in difficult times, or what we perceive to be difficult times, what is happening in the world, what is happening in the country, what is happening in the state, what is happening in the county,
Yes.
and the city,
All
and so
those
forth.
things.
And
Pick a spot.
the I know the Buddhist teaching, right, is to not be an attachment to what is happening, like there is nothing right or wrong, but thinking that makes it so, and right when we just are, and if we're safe
Very
in this
good.
moment, then we're
Mhm.
fine. But where's the line between accepting what's happening and doing something about it, but feeling powerless because we don't know what to do, just there's some line between that, right? Like there's,
We
I
do the
can
best we
see all
can.
of that and mentally
Yeah.
say of everything that I, put myself in a peaceful place, but at the same time, if we don't act, then maybe injustice
keep yourself in
continues
that
or
peaceful
something.
place.
Yeah.
For starters.
Yeah.
You kind of put that, putting myself in a peaceful place, but that's great. Put yourself in that peaceful place, and the answer will be there.
So, for me, because I do feel that pull to feel like doing something about it.
Yes.
I feel that people who are in that peaceful place need to be in spaces like that with their peace.
Yeah.
So, occasionally I will engage with whatever that system is, and that's how I look at it. Now I say, okay, I'm about to step in. I armor myself up, step in, and then when it becomes too much for my physical form, I step out. And then I honor my body and heal my body and give myself what it needs.
You have to,
And that's
yes,
how I do
whatever
it.
your capacity is. Sometimes we were saying, sometimes it's better to leave this situation than to engage with someone who's is so fixated that they're not listening to anything. You know, it's my way or the highway. And so, okay. Sure. Well, and we're expanding those boundaries. We're expanding those boundaries, you know, ultimately, so that whatever appears in front of us is grist for the mill. You know, it's a way that we can practice. And we have to be able to look at that if there's a response that is negative. Everything serves to further. Everything. And when we get hit with something that feels, I just can't tolerate this, you know, we have to see what is it about this that is so intolerable. Obviously, we're not accepting it, and we're trying to figure it out, or we need to do something about it. Just be present with loving kindness and compassion. See what happens. I will engage that mind of awakening, which is perfect love and compassion. We can't really do that right now because we do have some obstacles to that. But that's the nature of our heart-mind situation, is loving kindness and compassion and wisdom, as the title of the book says.
Kind of.
Yes, please.
Following along with what you were talking about, I struggle with that too. They talk about a middle path. Yeah? A middle path.
Middle path, yeah.
Middle path. I also got into yoga quite a bit and read Bhagavad Gita and the books, and I thought it was really interesting from the Vedas about how you have Brahman and Atman, like the whole thing, the eternal nature of things. In the eternal nature of things, the events in the material world have no meaning whatsoever. But yet we live in this world. I mean, they call it dharma. I'm not sure if it's a similar
Well, you know,
thinking in
there's
Buddhism, but
nihilism too, so nothing matters. That's
exactly,
not,
and I think that's
that
what
is not the case.
you're
It
struggling
does matter.
with. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. You don't want to feel like you're just like, oh well, you know, I'm going to be one with everything. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. How do you balance that with the middle road?
With wisdom. You do that, but you mentioned the middle way. You know, the Buddha struggled with that too. He was an ascetic and almost killed himself, you know, eating a grain of rice a day, and he was just skin and bone. He said he could press in his stomach and feel his backbone. You know, he was just almost on the verge of death. And he said, this is really not helping my mind or my evolution. But that was the kind of how they did it in the day. He was traveling with 5 other yogis, and he said, this is not the path. And he left those yogis. You know the story of the Buddha? Yeah. He was raised, you know, in a palace. His father was a king of a small nation, and his mother gave birth to him naturally without any pain or suffering. But he left the palace knowing that this world is illusory. You know, it is not as it appears. So he went to find the truth for the benefit of all beings, and struggled. He went from one teacher to another, and found that they didn't know what they were talking about either. And so he said, I'm going to sit under this Bodhi tree in India, in Bodh Gaya, And I will sit here until I die or rot or until I find enlightenment. And through the course of that period of time, he saw things as they were. And after his enlightenment, for 49 days, he said, who's going to believe this? You know, it's what he discovered. So he waited for 49 days, and then afterwards he said, I'm going to teach. And he went, and out of his omniscience, he knew where these 5 yogis were going to be. And he traveled to them, and they were his first students. And they got the message and woke up. Then when they saw him, they said, who are you? And he said, that's where we get the term, I'm awake. You know, that is, he said, I am awake. And so the middle way is not overindulgence and not asceticism. It is understanding the nature of reality. It's being present in the situation. I mentioned the practice of, the Four Noble Truths are the basis for all schools of Buddhism. And there are different lineages, you know, in Buddhism. There's a Hinayana lineage, the foundation practices of which the Four Noble Truths and are primary. There's the Mahayana path that is compassion, the way of the Bodhisattva. You've heard that term before, Bodhisattva? So these are Buddhas in training, and they follow a particular practice, such as the Noble Eightfold Path, and go level by level until they reach Buddhahood. It is not an easy process. We have to really give up a lot of our clinging to certain emotions and certain practices, our, again, habitual patterns. But that is a process of purification. It takes discipline, it takes intention. And then there's the Vajrayana, or Mantrayana, which Mantrayana is mantra. Vajrayana includes a visualization on certain deities. And if you go into a Buddhist shrine, you'll see many different manifestations of Buddha mind, we'll say. Manjushri, the bodhisattva of wisdom, who carries a sword to cut through the illusions of our ego. There is Chenrezi, the bodhisattva of loving kindness and compassion. There are many, but they are all aspects of your own mind. They're all aspects of your own mind. When you go in, you say, wow, you guys really do a lot of this worshiping these deities or gods. It is you represented in these various ways. And people, we were saying 84,000 different ways. Some people really resonate with Chenrezi, loving kindness and compassion. Some will resonate with wisdom, students, scientists, those kinds of things. But there are many different aspects to your own mind. And it is the cultivation of these qualities. Buddha has all the qualities. He's purified his body, his mind, his spirit, and has gotten rid of all those negative clingings and things that generally hold us back because of our habitual patterns. So the Buddha was a very skillful teacher. And if we are willing, just like when we go to the doctor, if we're willing to take the medicine to cure our illness, we will get the result. But again, you've got to take the medicine. You've got to practice in the way that is amenable to purifying your negative karma. Yes, we probably should do that. Huh? Okay, so let's sit comfortably. So the first thing is to sit up straight. You know, we want to have our spine straight for a variety of reasons. We actually meditate better. Meditating lying down is not optional, because usually when we lie down, it means we're going to go to sleep, and this is not sleeping. So when you see images of the Buddha, he also has his eyes gently opened. So if you're used to meditating with your eyes closed, fine. But I'm going to invite you to do something different, which is to have your eyes half-lidded. You're looking at an imaginary spot about 2 feet and about in front and about a 45-degree angle. So you're not looking at the floor, you're not looking at anything, but there is this imaginary spot about 2 feet in front, 45-degree angle down. So we're sitting comfortably, spine straight. Hands can be relaxed in the lap or on the knees, whatever is most comfortable for you. Feet are flat on the ground. Tongue's resting on the roof of the mouth. Chin is slightly tucked in, so you're stretching or extending those upper cervical vertebrae a little bit, so the spine is, and imagining you're as if you're being suspended from the heavens by a string, nice and straight. So we've got the posture of the hands in the right thing. We've got the straightness of the spine, tongue's resting on the roof of the mouth. And let your awareness come to the breath. So when you're breathing in, you're aware of breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And be aware of everything that is with the breath. When you're breathing in, you may feel a little cool on the inhale with the nostrils, a little warm on the exhale. You may feel expansion in the chest and the belly on your inhale, a little contraction on the exhale. Just be with that for a moment. Just feel what it is to be present. You may feel yourself seated in the chair. You may be aware of other feelings, emotions, sensations, thoughts, but let your awareness come to the breath. And just ride the wave of your breath for a bit. Notice what's going on in your mind. All the thoughts. Oh, this is silly. Is this meditation? I don't know if I can do this. All those thoughts that may be coming in. Just recognize them as thoughts and bring your awareness back to the breath again. Or feelings, whatever that feeling is. A little tension in the back, between the shoulders, neck. You may be experiencing some other kinds of discomfort. Label it and just back to the breath again. So we're going to do a short meditation and we're going to count the breath and we're going to count the exhale. So inhale gently, naturally, uncontrived. We're not forcing the breath in any way. Let it be natural. And exhale. And count 1. And then inhale at whatever rate is natural for you. And exhale, count 2. To the count of 21. So again, we're going to bring our awareness to the breath and see if we can stay with our awareness on the breath. And if thoughts, feelings, and emotions do come, just label it thinking and back to the breath again. And try not to lose count of the breath to 21. You may hear sound, you may hear the air conditioner, you may hear people rustling around. You're not just trying to stop thoughts, but you are aware of them when they come. You haven't cut off your senses, you're still aware of what's going on, but you're present following the breath. And relax, relax, relax. Relax your shoulders. Relax your belly. The breath should be relaxed and at ease. If a thought comes to mind again, no judgment. We imagine our mind spacious like the sky. And when those thoughts or feelings or whatever it is invade our awareness, we just recognize it like a cloud in a spacious sky, having its moment of arising and then dissolving back into emptiness. No judgment. Return back to the breath. Relax your breathing. Relax your belly. Let your breath be natural, diaphragmatic. Let it be nice, full. But it may naturally slow down as you continue, which is normal. It means your mind is quieting down. If you want to quiet your mind, relax and slow your breathing. When you get excited, your breathing speeds up. When you're relaxed, it slows down. Okay, you can come back again. That may have not been 21 breaths for you. Some of you may have just taken fewer, some more. It doesn't matter. But what it does matter is that you are present with the breathing. Now, this is something that you can do several times during the day. If you need time, sometimes, you can, often people say, when is the best time to meditate? The best time to meditate is when you meditate. That's right. So for some it may be first thing in the morning, for some it may be sometime during the day or in the evening. It has benefits no matter when you do it. In the morning it kind of helps set the design for the day. In the evening it helps relax your mind for sleep. But it requires some practice to be mindful. We hear that term mindfulness. That is what we're working towards. To be mindful when our mind is engaged. That same mind. When it's not engaged, same mind. So we're aware of the nature of our mind. Okay, how was that experience?
I am very sad that I will see you again. You live in Gainesville. Is there a way that we can follow you the baby sometime, or I can do?
Yeah,
See you more, or
we meet, on Sundays. Right now, my team is taking over on Zoom, so you can go to GainesvilleKTC.org, GainesvilleKTC.org, and you'll see the information there in the website, the Zoom.
I hear that there is a monastery in Gainesville. I hear that they were building a monastery 4 or 5 years ago, and I have no idea if that happened, where it is, if I can go and visit, because
Well-
I am very happy, and I have been trying to follow Buddhist teachings for a long time. In some way, I started reading the books, and I said, this is what I do, this is what I think. Then I thought in some way it was a natural thing for me to come.
Yes.
And I am very close to nature, and I come from Colombia, which we have all this wonderful world there with, the fauna, flora, and all that. And I'm very happy to be a Buddhist, and I can see how happy I have been in my life. I was married for 50 years, never have a fight with my husband, and he became, he copied from me. He said, how you come like that? He started reading my books, and I am very grateful to Buddhists.
That's great that you can
Because,
share that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can always learn from every situation and accept the things and feel compassion for the other people. Then I don't let my mind
You're a Buddhist.
tell me study. Oh, okay, thank you. But I am sad, that I don't have this opportunity to be asking questions and to, and all that. But thank you very much.
Yes, GainesvilleKTC.org.
You know
And
what?
also, you
Yeah.
might enjoy the book. Yeah.
Yes. You know what? I met Ajahn Matthew Ricard
Yes.
in Bhutan that I was last
In
year
Bhutan,
there.
yes.
I got a picture
That's on my
with him.
bucket list. I have not been to Bhutan yet.
Yeah,
but,
I was
it's
Bhutan
a
and
beautiful
Nepal.
place.
Yeah. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I hope this has been helpful, you know.
So,
Yes.
so there is a place physically for people to go to in person?
Yes, there is.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're here, you don't have to be in Gainesville to do that, but yes, if you go to that website, it shows our address and our, what we offer and when, yeah.
Yes, it would be on the website.
So I also have a couple of brochures there on the table next to my books, and we are building a new retreat center. We have 67 acres of organic farmland, and it's solar, it's off-grid, and we are preparing for a large center there, and we need your support, to make a long story short. So if any of you are interested in knowing more about that, that brochure is there, and SEBRC, Southeastern Buddhist Retreat Center, is the name. It's in Citra. It's right down the road. So Southeastern Buddhist Retreat Center. But if you go to SEBRC, which stands for, Southeastern Buddhist Retreat Center, SEBRC.org, you'll be able to see what's going on there. There's a drone picture, video of the property and the buildings that are on there. It's a very beautiful facility. But we're not doing classes there yet. Stay tuned. With your help, we will. But I don't have a lot of brochures, but for those of you who are interested, please. Yes, please. You better grab one. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So for the Gainesville one, so the ones that are on Sunday, like here, so is
Yes.
anyone just welcome to come into there?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's welcome, just like here.
Cool.
Yes.
And of course, hopefully you will be coming back occasionally here. So as many spaces as this that we can invite people like you to come in and,
Yes.
connect so that people like her can find you.
I guess we have pretty much used up our time, but as I said, I'm glad that it was interactive, and we had an opportunity you had an opportunity to ask questions about your personal practice or about Buddhism in general, and any other questions that you'd like to ask? Yes, sir. Well, I wish they were free, but they're $20. Yes, thank you.
I have a question. One of the things that I've been doing for my meditation, because I realize my body, sometimes the physical form just doesn't like to stay still without pain showing up and things like that. So I move for my meditation, and now I find that because I'm moving, especially because I'm moving outside, there's this feeling of the outside pouring into me and me pouring into the outside, and that's my meditation now. So is that also an okay meditation? Because I couldn't do
Being
the sit
mindful
still
is
thing.
the meditation.
Okay.
There are 8 limbs in yoga. We hear about Hatha Yoga. That is one of the limbs. But Hatha Yoga is designed for you to be a better meditator. It's working with the body, but you need to be able to sit comfortably for extended periods of time. And that is what yoga is for, is to keep your body healthy. And we want to do that. It has to do with diet, it has to do with nutrition, it has to do with your employment, it has to do with a lot of different things. But yoga, Hatha Yoga, when we say yoga, we usually think of just Hatha Yoga, but Raja Yoga, the supreme yoga of meditation, is the highest yoga. And so you're doing this Hatha Yoga for the purpose of being able to sit for extended periods of time. Okay.
Lama, do we have one moment for just this last question that we missed?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So hopefully this will be a quick question.
Oh, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe not. I'm in recovery from complex PTSD. So Buddhism and recovery from trauma, I'm kind of curious, just briefly, any thoughts?
Yes, we have to tame your mind too. And all these things, the past is past, the present is present. So easier said than done, and there are a lot of treatments, there's a lot of therapies that are happening right now, particularly for PTSD. And but meditation is an important part of that recovery too, whether it's a recovery, a 12-step program or a PTSD. And there are a lot of other therapies, microdosing and other kinds of things that are being used very effectively to give you a different view. But meditation can do the same thing. So when those thoughts come to mind, you just, in the same way as anyone else would, you don't have to have PTSD to have wild thoughts or disturbing thoughts. We do the same thing. These thoughts come to mind. Oh, this is thinking. Return to the breath. And again, it may take a little bit more because those are so ingrained, and we really don't like those so much. We have an aversion to those feelings. But it doesn't matter whether you have anxiety or depression or PTSD. It's your mind, is experiencing that. So how can we use our mind to transform that? So meditation is definitely a medicine. Medicine and meditation come from the same root. It means to heal.
Yeah. Keep coming back. We have more and more different people who hit it in different angles, and it's all tools for your tool belt. So I say you just reach for all the tools and try every single one, and you never know.
And
something
different
will
ones
help.
will appeal to different people.
Yep.
Some of you may think, oh, this is really good, but and it is. So
It's very helpful. Meditation is very helpful.
are we good? Okay. I thank all of you.
Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Yes, it was really a pleasure. Wonderful. And thank you all for being here and for supporting the Center for Spiritual Living. We don't put a price tag on the programs that we offer here, but we do, like every other mystic, have bills to pay. So we just ask you to, that this is the time when we ask for gifts, whatever that might be. And we have an affirmation that we do together, and there'll be a basket going around. There's other ways that folks can give. We've got a station out there in the little vestibule, the coffee station there, where you can use your debit card, or you can also, we call it text to give, and that will be, let me show you where that is. The way this works is once you have this number programmed into your phone, it attaches your banking information. So you send the amount of money that you want to give, and you put it in the text message. It's so simple. So you just put the number in, right? 20, 200, 2,000, whatever you feel like giving. We take it all. And of course, we take cash as well. But I'm going to invite you, and we have envelopes. And another thing that we have is prayer requests. So if there is anything that's going on in your life where you could use a little boost, you need a little extra support, we're glad to do that for you. We have myself and other practitioners and ministers that pray over those requests. And so I'm going to invite you to say the affirmation along with me if you feel like doing that, if it resonates for you. It is the nature of life to give of itself, as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talent, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. I am grateful. And so it is. Except that y'all didn't say that with a lot of enthusiasm. I didn't feel it. I mean, are you really feeling that? You want to say that part again? All right. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. I am grateful. All right, that was better. I definitely know that I was blessed today, and I thank you so much, Lama Losang, for being with us. Yes, it was wonderful. Yes, so appreciated your time here. And I'm so glad that we finally got to make that connection. Yes, it will not be the last time. It will not be the last time. We have so many different things that happen here. Every week is kind of a different focus. The first week of the month, we do a spiritual practice. So next week, I will be offering a workshop from my World Before ministry when I worked for the state of Florida, teaching people how to advocate on behalf of children and families in a way that is safe. Now, I know there's lots of things going on in the world, and we want to be a beneficial presence. How do we do that in a way that is helpful for everyone around us, not getting mired in the sadness or the awfulness or whatever it is? How can we be the power of one? So it's a mini workshop that I will be offering next week, and I hope you'll come back for that. The second Sunday of the month is more traditional talk. You know, it feels more like church does. Our third Sunday, we do Circle Sunday. So we take the topic of the month, and then we do a small overview, and we break out into small groups, and we have discussion around those topics. So every week is something different. Fourth Sunday, we practice on this idea of building the beloved community. And so this is a fourth Sunday. As you see, it was more interactive. You know, the audience gets to ask questions, not quite as interactive as a workshop, but where you can engage with the speakers, or maybe there's two people having a conversation or a panel, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what happens here. Saturday, May 10th, this is fun. First time I'm seeing this. We're having a game night, a fundraiser. Does anyone want to speak on it? I know Donna wants to speak on that. Come on down, Donna. Tell us a little bit about our game night.
As you all very well know, we at Your Phoenix is Rising and the Andavis family bring the fun with us. And we love to do gaming. And those of us who love the camaraderie of community, getting together, playing board games, playing video games, it don't matter what kind of game you like. If you replenish yourself in that way, please come out and join us, because we're going to have pasta, we're going to have music, we're going to have all kinds of craziness going on, and we're inviting our family and friends and everybody who wants to come and engage. Please come and support this. It's a great cause, and the fundraiser is for Joyful Expressions. Every expression person here, stand up. Y'all stand up, you know it. You know it. Joyful Expressions, those of us who use music and art to bring life into our community and to keep this thing alive. Without art, years from now, what are we digging up right now to know what happened back then? It's the art, y'all. It's the art. It's those pieces that we made. It's those buildings that we created. It's that song that was made. And we are joining those on the broader scale, those musicians doing this work in New Thought, and we want to be immersed in it so that we can also be replenished. We give, and it's time for us to replenish our cup. And so we are doing that with these awesome people. It costs a lot of money. So y'all come out, man. Support the cause. Thank you.
Support Joyful Expressions. All right, then we have, at the end of May, our Weekend of Joy. How many of you have seen Amy Steinberg, John Moore? It's raise your hand. Well, y'all, if you have heard Amy Steinberg, I know you're excited about that. Amazing. This is going to start Friday night. We'll have all-day event on Saturday. We've got family constellations happening with John Moore during the day. Amy will be doing a concert in the evening. And then Sunday, we'll have a panel discussion. And then, let me see if it's on here. Oh, there you go. There's Amy in concert at 7 on Saturday. And Pride Day. So June 1st, the last day of our Weekend of Joy, is the beginning of, is June 1st, which is the beginning of Pride Month. So there will be an event here. I think it starts at 2 o'clock. No, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock to 4. Oh, well, stay tuned. Well, once we know the time, we will let you know, but that event will be happening here after our Weekend of Joy. Let's see what else we've got. What is that? That's not right. It says February 23rd. What is that? I don't know how that ended up there. Never mind. All right. As always, we have volunteer opportunities. Wanted, preferably alive. Who made that slide? That had to be Richard. Our tech team, boy, they're full of surprises over there. You never know what's going to come out of that tech team. Anyway, yes, someone preferably alive to do our bookkeeping. We have a bookkeeper. It's getting a little bit pricey, so if anybody has that as their gift, their talent, their joy. I know there are people that love to work with money and numbers and and that's not me, but I know there's somebody in here. So if you are interested in helping us out in that way, we would be most appreciative. There are so many volunteer opportunities here. You know, there's a garden out there. There's lots of property here that needs maintaining. There's a place that needs cleaning. We have little people. Oh, a pianist. Oh, so many things, so many things. So if you have a gift and you enjoy the community, please come to myself, Donna, Richard, you know, any one of us, and we'd be glad to help you and plug you into the community. What else do we have here? Spirit Monthly newsletter will be coming out soon. If you're not on our mailing list, if you're not receiving it already, please sign up over there and make sure that you get on the list. That's how you found out all the cool things that are happening here. Science of Mind magazine is available. The new one has come out already for May. Our theme for the month of May is Raise Your Voice. Raise Your Voice. And so the magazine gives you affirmations for every day of the month. So it's a wonderful thing to add to your spiritual practice for your contemplation time. And there's lots of great articles in there. And it reminds us all that we are part of a larger movement. I know you all stumbled onto this little gem here in Ocala and probably think, oh my gosh, this place is so wonderful. Well, there's lots of us. There's over 400 centers all over the world. Most of them are here in the US and in Canada. But I invite you to check them out when you're traveling. And of course, always just come back here. Hope that you make this your spiritual home. There we go about volunteer opportunities. What else do we have? Do we have any kids this morning? We do. We like to bless our children. Let's bring them out here, our little folk. I don't know what they've been doing back there. They were pretty good. I heard them a little bit here and there, but they were good. They're having their spiritual blessing as they hang out back there.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,
come on, girls.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, shine. Every day, shine, shine.
All right. We love to acknowledge our children. You know, a lot of centers don't even have kids, right? It's a lot of, you know, gray-haired folk like myself. But we're really blessed to have these young people, and we want them to know that we appreciate them. So we ask you just send them a little energy, a little love and energy, and we say together, we honor you, we see your light, may it shine on all that you do. And so it is. And so I want to ask y'all, while you were back there, does anyone want to say anything about what you did? All right, yes, we'll turn it on ourselves too, right? Because we all have a child within ourselves. And you can be thinking about what you want to say if you want to say anything. All right? Okay, so we say to ourselves, we honor you, we see your light, may it shine on all that you do, on all that we do, every single one of us. Does anyone want to talk this morning? No? Y'all? Somebody turned 7. What? What? Oh my goodness. Hey, guess what? We've all turned 7 We were all set. Do we want to sing happy birthday? And this is, it's on Friday. That was all right. But it was very soon. And it's Mia, right? Is this Mia? Is it your Mia? No?
No, that was the other one
That was-
from McKenna.
Oh, yes.
So I'm Macy. Macy.
Let's say happy birthday. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Macy. Happy birthday to you. Yay! 7, that is a big number. And some of you did not hear this, but you know the Browns, right? Pam and Keith have a new grandbaby. Talia gave birth this morning to baby Nova. So there's another member of our community. There you go. They both came through safely. How wonderful. So blessings to the Brown family. And thank you all for coming up here. You want to stay up here while we do our closing prayer? No? Okay. You can stay. Or you can go right through that door, whatever you want to do. They want to go out the door. Oh, one more thing, Crystal, you almost didn't remind me. Anything else, any other announcements? I'm going to give Crystal a chance to share her announcement.
Hi everyone, my name is Crystal and I'm part of the newest show at the Ocala Civic Theater. We're putting on the Broadway version of SpongeBob the Musical, and this is not just for kids. It is absolutely for the whole family. Lots of themes around what we talked about today in a really lighthearted way. You know, what to do when the world feels like it's crumbling around you. And lots of song, lots of colorful, playful characters. And so the show is going from Thursday, May 1st to Sunday, May 18th. So lots of opportunities for you to come and visit and support your local theater. Theaters are in challenge since COVID, if you weren't aware, and so lots of love is going into this show. And so it's Thursday, it's 3 weeks, Thursday through Sunday. The Thursday and Friday shows are in the evening. Saturday and Sunday are midday, and there's 2 shows every Saturday. So there's a midday and an evening every Saturday. So we'd love to see you there. I'm part of the ensemble, so I have like 6 costume changes. It's a lot. I'm a little bit of everything, so you'll see me dancing my booty off. Thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to mention that we're starting another book study on Thursday nights. It's usually an hour, and the one everybody voted on is The Way of Liberation. So I could give you the Zoom link and the password if you want to join us. It's for an hour. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Oh, another announcement.
I'll make this quick, I promise. I know you'll want to go and eat. So the next week is the facilitation training for dynamic governance. We had 2 general workshops. So if anyone is interested in that, that is next week. It is Saturday at 7:00 p.m. facilitation training. That is keeping the order during meetings. It's organizing. If you want to learn more, come talk to me. Also, it is the 4th Sunday, and every 4th Sunday I host a psychedelic integration circle. This is a sober event in which you can share your altered state journeys, things like dreams, trance states, etc., and glean wisdom from that. So yeah, please come to that. That's 1 o'clock, directly after this service.
Thank you, Daniel. Daniel did a workshop yesterday. It was wonderful. What he is teaching in sociocracy and dynamic governance is ways of making decisions that engage all voices. I think we need to be doing this every place, in our schools, in our workplaces. Certainly we're doing it in our spiritual community. So take advantage of this. It's a wonderful class. So that said, no other announcements? Scanning the room. Lama Losang has got some books over there. As you know, they're limited, so get your book. He's putting a basket. Fabulous. Terrific. Okay. All right. Is there a way for folks to get it online? There is. What was that? You can go to Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. Fabulous. All right. That said, we'll close out with the prayer for protection. I invite you to say it along with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Have a blessing.